Hey guys, Taylor and Polly here from Beaten Jeans, and we are trying something completely different today with our interviews. We're going live from our YouTube channel, so hopefully you are tuning in today on that. Now that I think about it, I don't think we told Mom we were going to be doing it on YouTube. She always watches our videos. But anyway, we are interviewing Virginia. Virginia has CDH1, the genetic mutation that we share. And she has had her prophylactic gastrectomy and mastectomy. So we are going to talk to her about her journey with all of that. So I'm going to go ahead and invite her in real quick. Hope everyone's having a good day. And I'm hoping we can do this without any technical difficulties.
Doing it this way just makes our lives so much easier. So hopefully you guys don't mind the transition over to YouTube.
Right. We'd like to hear your comments, your thoughts, if you prefer it on here or on Instagram. We'd love to hear.
We've invited Virginia in. Hopefully she's gonna...
There we go.
There she is.
Hi, Virginia.
Hello, how are y'all?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Trying to set my phone.
Prop it up.
Yeah, you know.
This is the first time we've ever done an interview on YouTube, so we're hoping there's no technical difficulties involved during this interview. So thank you for being the test dummy.
Test dummy. I feel like that is a life story there.
I like your seahorse t-shirt.
Thank you. A friend of mine made it for me as a gift. She does t-shirts.
Cool. Very cool. And where are you coming from? Where do you live?
I live out in York, South Carolina.
Awesome. Well, welcome. I see your doggies in the back.
Did you get the storm from the hurricane? Did it go up that far?
Just winds and rain.
Yeah, nothing too much.
Cool. All right. So you have CDH1, is that correct?
Yes.
And you have had your gastrectomy and mastectomy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So why don't you take us back to the beginning? What made you test for this genetic mutation?
So I went to my GYN for my yearly and going through family history, and my father passed away at 52 from pancreatic cancer, and then his mother passed away from melanoma like when she was 48. And so my GYN just kind of was like, let's go ahead, you qualify for the BRCA genetic mutation to get that tested. And so she went ahead and did a full panel with the Myriad genetic testing company. We went ahead and did the full deal. I really didn't think of it. I thought, well, let's just at least go ahead and make sure everything's okay. And so we were really anticipating the BRCA gene mutation. Both were young. But then I got my results the week of Thanksgiving. I had to wait the whole weekend of Thanksgiving. They just said they needed a follow-up appointment. I'm like, well, that's never good.
Oh,
what's going on?
Right.
They're like, well, the doctor would prefer just to talk with you in person. I'm like, well, that's fantastic. And then I got a call on the way to the doctor's appointment for a mammogram.
Oh.
Okay, what is going on? So I got there, and she had a friend in Texas and who knew about CDH1. So she had them on the phone with us while she talked me through what CDH1 meant and everything like that. So that's really how I found out about it. And then doing the family history, it was very significant on my dad's side. And I really feel that my dad probably just metastasized into his pancreas, I think, because he had gastric issues since he was in his early 20s.
Oh, wow.
So, but in 2010, when he passed, I mean, CDH1 wasn't even really I mean, it may have been in other parts, but here and in Arkansas, they had never heard of it. So, sorry, my dogs are.
They want to be on the show.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, she got bashful, but anyway, so after Christmas, we just kind of.
Was it just you that tested in your family? Were you the only one that had done the testing at this point?
I was the first person. We had never heard of it. And so my brother and my sister were tested. My brother was negative, my sister was positive. And then I've had several other family members, a first cousin who decided he tested positive. And then there's been at least a couple other cousins within the same side test positive.
And when you say that when your father's side, there's a lot of history, is that history of stomach cancer or breast cancer?
No, stomach cancer.
Okay.
They're like significant, like 3 or 4 of his uncles passed from gastric cancer.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot.
Okay. Yeah. Pretty significant enough for me to be very concerned, especially passing at 52 and then knowing his mom passed at 48.
Yeah.
And my dad was fine. We all went on a family vacation and he was older and he had diabetes and things like that. So we were kind of thinking something was going wrong with his kidneys or something. And
I don't know why her sound keeps going in and out.
Huh?
Oh, I know. We're having a little bit of problems with the sound, but it's okay.
Okay. Let's see.
Maybe if I go like this. Okay, let's try that.
Hold on. I'm going to turn my Wi-Fi off.
I think I actually fixed it because I had echo cancellation on there, and I think that fixed it.
But you're gone.
Well, she's just out of this.
I think I made that worse.
Oh.
Y'all are frozen.
Uh-oh. Yeah, it was just on my part because I had like echo cancellation on it. Uh-oh. I shouldn't have said anything.
Let's see.
Can you still hear us?
Uh-oh. Virginia, can you hear us? I think she just turned her Wi-Fi off.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
All right. Stay tuned, everybody. Uh-oh. We might have to invite her in again. So this is why this is our first test run with this new program. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Okay. There we go. Boop. Okay.
There we go.
Perfect. I think we
Working
fixed
out
the sound
working
too.
out all the stuff here.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Posed in odd positions.
Good. All right. So they called you for a mammogram on your way to this genetic testing. So did you go have the mammogram right after that?
Yeah.
And what did that show?
Of course, it showed I had dense breast tissue, and so then they recommended an MRI, and that MRI came back suspicious, and so I had to follow up with that. There was a good couple months of just
Stress.
And stress. What in the world are we doing?
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, and then just no stomach for cancer. I kind of went into their website, researched. My sister-in-law Mary helped me and navigated my way to NIH. So then by Valentine's Day, that was my Valentine's Day present, I had my EGD to check everything out, and everything was fine. But I still ultimately made the choice in July to go ahead and have the gastrectomy, just because the anxiety of knowing is.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Says, you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that fear and anxiety is something that nobody understands until they get that diagnosis. And it's
No,
crippling and it takes over your life and your everyday existence. And some people
exactly.
do. They decide like Polly, I'm going to do it because I can't
Yeah.
handle that stress
It
anymore.
was just the stress of it alone was making my health deteriorate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the same with me. I could not handle the. And then the thought of I was doing this every 6 months, only I never made it to every 6 months regimen. I was having to go every 3 months for MRIs, and I'm like, I cannot
Right.
do that. So talking with Dr. Davis and everything, we kind of figured all of that had come clean. So the greater of the two was the stomach, since that was what was prevalent in my genetic history. So that's why we kind of tackled that first. And then I waited 2 years for my weight to kind of level and plateau, and then I did the mastectomy last summer.
You waited 2 years, you said? Okay, and that was last year?
Yes, last summer, and then I had a revision in October.
So let's talk about the gastrectomy. So you had that done at NIH, and you discovered NIH through the No Stomach for Cancer website?
Correct.
Okay. And how did your surgery go?
I was very blessed with a very smooth surgery. I was able to, if I had lived closer, I probably would have been discharged sooner. But it went very smooth. I did, but I'm a rule follower, and I don't really push the envelope. And so if they said, do this, I did it. And for me, that was probably the best thing. And I think a lot of people going into this process, I think something that is probably not really stressed enough is your mental health going into this process, and having that understanding that there's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days, there's going to be forward progression, and being able to give yourself that grace to, like, if today didn't go so well, it doesn't mean tomorrow is going to be so bad. So
Yes, I'm a huge advocate for that. For advocating for therapy before the surgery, just to get anything from your past dealt with before the surgery, because I've heard that it can come up again after the surgery.
Did you do therapy?
I did not. I am already on. I've been on anxiety medication since I was in college, so I kind of know that about myself ahead of time. And so I was very well aware of how I felt and how things were going, and so that was. And I have a very good support system and a strong faith, and so all of those things kind of combine help me go through the process.
So you already had the tools to kind of cope and deal with this mental.
I had those tools that I don't know. My sister-in-law had her gastrectomy during COVID at NIH, and she was there for 8 weeks solo.
Wait a second, your sister-in-law, so she's not even related to you?
No, it was a God thing. It was completely at my 6-month appointment. She got her. She had kind of like a like reflux and something. Just kept getting sicker, and so they found stage 4 cancer.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. So the doctors have basically told her to go home and live her life because she's had stage 4, and I was able to, in the middle of my 6-month appointment with Dr. Davis, she sent me her path report, and so he got my phone, read her path report, and then the next week had her up there in a, because we were afraid. We're like, what are the chances of CDH1 on my side and then CDH1 on my husband's side? And so, like, you've got to be kidding me. But she had no mutation that they know about right now. Young, and so Dr. Day is pretty confident that it's some sort of genetic issue, but
But they
anyway.
haven't tested her for or found anything that points to a genetic thing. Wow.
Not yet. Yeah. And she
Oh
was
my,
48.
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Wow.
And so Davis just took her out of the kindness of his heart, and he did that. So he did that with our dad. Our dad didn't have CDH1; he had just stomach cancer, and he took our dad on as a patient. So for that,
And
we love him so much.
that's exactly what he did with me. Because she sent me her path report, because she had been with me through the whole process. Like, she helped me navigate the clinical trial, because she was in like oncology. She administered radiation therapy. I don't know the technical term of the person that does that. And so she sent me her path report, and I was like, can you just look at this? And so he did. But like, she was one that helped me kind of navigate all of this process. And was there with me on Valentine's for my EGD and everything for the surgery.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Wow.
She actually beat stomach cancer.
That's what I was just gonna say. She's cured now.
She beat it, and then we're pretty certain the cancer went to her spine or something. Last summer she passed away kind of suddenly. So but for all intents, she beat stomach cancer.
Wow.
Dr. Davis took because she was such a cranky patient about getting all her lymph nodes. And so he's like, I took every one.
Oh my God.
Yeah, every one of them was clear. And so, but yeah, so
she passed last summer. How old was she?
She was 40.
48.
Our mom is saying there's a horrible echo. Is there any way that you can echo off on your side? She says it's not on our side, it's your side.
Let me just try that. No, I don't think there's settings or anything like that on yours. Did that fix it, Mom?
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say I have no setting options.
Okay, did it fix it, Mom?
We'll see.
I'm sorry. I knew we would probably run into some issues for the first time.
Yeah.
No, you're fine.
And like, let's see, there's a setting, iPhone microphone.
Maybe.
But I would think you would want
she says it's gone.
Echo is gone. Okay,
good.
Perfect. I don't know what I did.
Okay.
Wow. Well, that's incredible that she was told to go home and live her life and beat the stomach cancer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. What was her name?
Her name was Mary.
Oh, Mary. God bless.
Yeah. I've posted our pictures, and she has her. It was she and I with Dr. Davis. Our last time to see each other was actually at my follow-up appointment and her follow-up appointment. That was our last time to get to see one another, was with Dr. Davis.
Oh my gosh. Now, does she have children?
She does. We actually moved out.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
Say that again.
I'm gonna fix something real quick.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and for being patient with us. This is the first time we've used this. I don't know if I like it so far.
I don't know if I do either.
It's like stressing.
Yeah. Okay. So that's actually why we moved out to York. I'm actually used to live in Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
And so this last summer, we moved out here to be with her family out here. She has a 16-year-old daughter named Maddie and a 9-year-old little boy named Mitchell.
Oh my gosh.
Well, that's nice. You could be next to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I work remotely from home, and so does my husband, thanks to COVID. So we were just kind of like, what keeping us in Oklahoma. And so we just picked up everything and moved out here. We were initially moving out here to kind of help her with the food process because she's not a food. My husband is a food, like preps my meal, like he's the chef person, and she is not. And so we were intentionally moving out here before she passed to help kind of navigate the food process. Because for her, she just nothing sounded good. And I know a lot of people kind of go through that where it's just like, ugh, the food is a challenge. So,
And how was that for you? How was adjusting to the stomachless life for you?
for me, it was, I kind of went with the mindset that almost like baby, and when you're first introducing foods, you kind of start very, very small. And so I kind of correlated it to that experience and exactly how you would train your child to eat food. You almost essentially do that with yourself from the start because you start with your broth and your ice chips and then you build up to your, and so and then also knowing that when you're introducing foods again, sometimes it's not going to go well. Sometimes you're going to tolerate it, sometimes you're not. And so for me, that was probably the biggest thing I focused on. And then I also, Rachel is a great tool. I'm sure everyone that's in NIH land knows Rachel. And she said, some things are psychological as far as eating. And she said, so like we bought like our toddler plates to give my mind to thinking that I was doing something big that I wasn't, to kind of get past that. Oh, I'm eating legit, half a piece of chicken and 4 carrots. So, it kind of helped that mental compartment of the food.
I like that tip. That's a good tip.
Yeah.
Compartmentalize everything and make it look more presentable too.
Yeah. And because I was like, like I said, we're in toddler raising babies. They were 3 and 5 at the time. So we were still full on toddler plates. And we were like, we'll do the same thing for me and him. So he lost, I learned to eat. So it was a win-win.
Oh, good. Now, how are you today with your food? Are you eating normally 2 years out?
As normal as you eat. I mean, it's funny because they say you won't remember what it was like to be normal. And I do remember being able to eat anything and everything. And now it's just a matter of, as long as I I'm going to eat what I want to eat. And so I just know to eat a lot of protein. Like if I'm going to do some ice cream, I'm going to pair it with a heavy meat, a heavy protein, just so, because I have a sweet tooth that is
still, it didn't go away. No.
And, but it's different now because it's just a little bit is all I need. I don't need like a big old bowl or a whole bag, or you know what I mean? Like I'll have 4 candy corns and I'm good.
Right. Oh, good. That's good. Perfect. Everything in moderation, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a healthier way to eat.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, it's legit actually better for you to eat that way than anything. But now I forget to eat now. Like I just kind of, and it'll be 4 or 5 hours. I'm like, oh, I wonder why I'm feeling so tired, or why can I not focus? Today's been a big focus day because my sugar's been kind of running low, and I'm like, well, maybe because I haven't eaten since 7 this morning.
Oh yeah.
Is your husband, is he good about like meal prepping for you, like to have snacks throughout the day? Is he in the kitchen a lot, or?
Initially, yes. In the startup, because you're so tired and food, it's more of a job. You don't even you can't think of it as enjoyment when you first.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's miserable.
It's just it's a job. It's a job that you have to do.
Yeah.
And so he would literally just hand me my plate and say, "Eat it."
Yeah.
And there was no room for negotiation. It was a matter of, you're gonna eat the food.
Oh, I think that's so cute.
What a great husband.
He is.
He took good care of you.
So cute.
I like, if it was up to me, we would have Cheerios and like Totino's pizza. Like,
oh,
yeah.
That's so nice to have that support system.
It is. It's super important. Or, set up a meal plan. Like what are the
Yeah.
blue,
Yeah.
do something. In my opinion, like, everybody initially should have meal prep, because you don't want to have to deal with that part.
Right.
Like, you're going to be restricted so much. So it's just kind of like, I don't know, there's not enough emphasis on kind of your prep, your mind prepping, to kind of know that this is not going to be a fun time. This isn't going to be super easy. You're going to have to learn a new routine.
Yeah.
And don't fight it. With my sister-in-law, Mary, she was not a good patient. And we're like, you have to eat the food. And she's like, but I don't want to eat eggs.
Oh, no.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Because today, that is like, it's almost like the system wakes up every morning, just like you wake yourself up every morning. Mine's kind of slower. And so I cannot have very much sugar in the morning. Like, I still, even 3 years out, like, I just know I need to start the day with a lot of protein. And then, by dinner time, I can handle a dessert or whatever. But yeah, so that part is still the same. I still have to do the 2 egg routine, and I am, I hate water. I know some people love it. I just can't do it. Rachel yells every time. I get a dehydration bag every time.
Oh, really? Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I asked for one last time. They're like, okay, sure.
Yeah, have you ever thought about going to like the IV bars in your town and doing those?
I have been seeing that, and so I'm like, why don't I just do that? That would be a lot simpler, because, I mean, it takes so long, like, that you're not able to drink like a regular drink. And so it may take me a couple hours, if I really focus, to drink a full, like, Turbis tumbler.
Right.
It's hard.
And are you adding anything to it, like any IV nutrition or any lemon or Gatorade or anything like that?
So my main drink of the day, and it's sad, but it's my main drink. And so I will do a collagen, which is 17 grams of protein. I'll do a Premier Protein, which is your 30. And then I top it with coffee and creamer.
Oh.
And so that creates a full protein, like, that's 47, I think. Yeah, if I'm adding 47.
Wow. That's a lot. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I do decaf coffee, just because the caffeine pulls the water from your stuff, from everything processing. So
right.
But I probably should try to get 2, like, of those. That would probably be more ideal as far as the liquid. But that's how I start my day, is the 2 eggs, which have, I'm not sure, is it 6 per egg? Or
yeah.
So the 12 plus the 47.
That's a lot.
That's really good. So wait, do you drink that throughout the whole day or just in the morning?
If I focus on it, I can get it done in about an hour or so.
That's good.
But I sit at my computer and I will drink on that all day long.
Yeah. Great.
So, I feel like I need to do that for some extra protein.
Yeah. Now, have you both had your stomachs out?
Just Polly. Just Polly.
Okay. Yeah. Now, are you CDH1? I'm sorry, I'm not doing the interview, but are you CDH1 as well?
Yeah, we both are. I'm doing surveillance with Dr. Davis. Yeah.
Okay. Very
And my pathology just came back clear. So
good.
or not
Good.
pathology, but my gastric mapping results came back good.
Yeah. That's awesome. I'm hoping by the time my kids are old enough, this is not really, I mean, it's, it's surveillance or they figured out something for this.
Yeah. We're working on it. They're working on it. We're hopeful too.
Yeah. That's what this is all. That's what we're doing all this for, is for the hope of our children. We're trying to get as much knowledge out there as we possibly can.
Much awareness. Yeah.
Yeah, I had hoped to be able to be, I told my husband, I said, well, as soon as we get out there, I would love to be more involved in this process, just because life has happened and we have not been able to kind of do the awareness and things like that. So that is definitely a passion of, especially since it's hit our family on both sides now. And
absolutely.
Yeah, it's a huge passion of ours. We work every day so hard to just get the word out and raise awareness. The more people doing it, the better.
Exactly. And so
cancer is the third leading cause of cancer death, and nobody really even speaks about it.
Yeah.
I mean, my dad lived 18 weeks after his diagnosis.
That's so fast.
Yeah. Before our trip, he went and had his full blood panel and everything looked fine. And while we were on our trip, his diabetes started showing out in so we had to do the Novolog and all of those different things to kind of tweak it. And then he came back and he was diagnosed in October and passed away in February.
Wow. So, that's so fast.
It's incredibly fast. And he lost like 80 pounds within 18 weeks. I mean, it's
a horrible thing to witness.
It really is. And so when I found out that I had the gene, it was really a no-brainer. I was just like, get this out now.
Because you don't want your kids to have to watch their mother go through something like that.
No, and my sister had hers removed 2 weeks after mine, and they did find, so with my path report was kind of an oddity for Dr. Davis. He didn't find it initially in mine, and he said it's not that it's not there. It's just that it's that hard to detect.
Right.
And so my stomach, along with a handful of others, he had a specialist come in from Portugal for Christmas or something. And so he's like, I'm just going to have him take a look at these. And I'm like, that's fine, whatever you need to do. And so they did find stage 1 in that second pathology review.
Okay.
So
yeah, and that's what they say, that at least 95% of CDH1 mutation carriers have stage 1 in their stomachs. Even if it's not seen on endoscopy, it's in there.
Yeah. And the same for my sister. The doctor said that they did the right thing because she would probably have only lived 2 more years. Had started to already.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And she was very, because she was persistent. He was kind of hesitant. Hers done at UAMS in Arkansas. And so they were kind of like, and then she pushed enough and had it. And when they did the path, they said, yeah, this was the best thing that could have.
So was it 1B at that point, or was it still considered 1A?
For her, I am not sure of the exact A or B staging.
But she didn't need chemo or anything.
No. She and she has other health issues as well, and so she almost died after surgery from her other health complications, not the procedure itself. So she was 2 weeks in intensive care. So yeah. So we
okay and made it through. And
how old was she when she had the surgery?
Let's see, she is 8 years younger than me. I had it 3 years ago, so I was 36. Nice.
Okay.
She was how old?
There's 28.
Oh,
28.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's young.
I'm not a mathematician. I'm like,
well, I'm glad you girls did it. You took the jump and you made the decision to do it because you're both here today, and that's incredible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what about your breasts when you had your mastectomy? first of all, what kind of procedure did you have? Did you have reconstruction? Did you do the diaphragm or?
I did. So I didn't have enough to do the diaphragm or any of that. I went from direct to implant.
Mm-hmm.
So the first surgery, I had to have a revision that following October because rippling. I guess some people experience rippling.
Yeah.
And so I had to have a revision in October, but the initial procedure, they did not find any cancer. But I wish I had known prior to my surgery to have the breast tissue sent to NIH because they only test 4 quadrants of tissue. And with they're doing some research at NIH with it, and she said, well, we'll try to look for those in pseudocells to see if they were there, and that's helpful for me to know for my daughter. So, that's kind of the frustrating part with that is I did not get full pathology of the breast tissue.
Yeah.
So you were kind of breaking up there. So your original pathologist only tested the 4 quadrants, and they didn't look for the in situ cells. And then you sent the pathology to NIH. They were able to look at it, and then they found them then?
No. So the 4 quadrants were biopsied in Oklahoma, and there was nothing there. But H said, it would have been better if we'd been able to biopsy all the tissue to look for those.
Oh, gotcha.
Absolutely.
Know if those cells were present because they're so hard to detect.
Yeah.
Because they're not your normal, because they're essentially the same in your breast tissue as they are in your stomach tissue.
Right. That diffuse webbing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know I needed to have all the tissue biopsy, like done a path report with.
To make sure. But they gave you the all clear and you didn't have to have any chemo or any treatments like that.
Right. So if anybody's watching and you are heading down the path of mastectomy and you're already a participant in the NIH, know that you can coordinate with the NIH and have your tissue sent to them to have it looked like Virginia Sheet had done.
Well, and also, your stomach and your breasts.
Right. If you have another facility that did your stomach as well.
Stomach sent to NIH to have it for the study portion.
Okay. Good.
I will say, it would have been, I did not realize, okay, so everyone who's had a gastrectomy knows that your absorption happens a lot quicker. So with my surgery, my second surgery with my mastectomy, so the initial one, I did not realize how quickly the pain medication would wear off.
Oh, right.
I had not had a procedure done since my me, and I have a pretty high tolerance of pain, and I'm a rule follower, and so your prescription says every 8 hours, and so I did the 8 hours. Well, everything came awake within 24 hours of my mastectomy. I was in full. And so, the plastic surgeon was like, well, I wish you would have called. And I'm like, well, in the moment, you do not think really about what's going on. Oh, I think I need to call. Oh, you just think about those things. So, it definitely is something to remember for people. Because my second revision, we had a plan in place after that, and it was a breeze compared to the first one.
And what did you do differently to control your pain?
So you're supposed to do the hydrocodone every 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of doing that, I did the half dose every 4 hours. That was so much better.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wasn't taking any more it's just I was incrementing it so that it was in my system and not because once you get in full blown pain, you're just chasing the pain.
Absolutely.
And so I didn't have a clue that it would absorb that fast. And so that was it was more painful than my stomach.
Really?
Just
Do you think because of that, the absorption issue?
Yeah, that's all it was, because the second time I had the same procedure. I mean, granted, your first procedure, they're taking all of your tissue and everything. So it is a lot. But I did not realize how much I probably should have. I didn't think about that part, to be honest. I didn't think about it.
Well, I personally feel like the mastectomy was way more painful than the gastrectomy. And I had my stomach with my mastectomy, but I think because there's so much nerve involvement with the mastectomy too.
Yeah.
But
it was much more painful for me than my stomach. My stomach was kind of a breeze. I mean, here again, they kept you very well taken care of as far as control and knowing how to control your pain and managing all that. And with my double mastectomy, I went home that day.
yeah.
Did you go home with a pain pump after the mastectomy? No. I wonder if that makes
Wow, just the hydro morphine, that's it?
That's it.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a
really
lot.
hard. How long do you think it took you to recover or stop being in pain after that surgery?
It was 10 days.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, they had me loaded up on all sorts of drugs for that.
Scary. Oh gosh.
I was like, something has to change or we're fixing to take this out. I was like, I don't want this if this is the way it's going. I thought this was my new normal.
Right.
I've also heard that direct to implant too, where you're not doing the expanders, is a lot more uncomfortable, is much more uncomfortable than waiting and doing the expander process first.
Yeah, it is definitely, some people can handle it. And I think, but for me personally, I have a really high threshold of pain, and
oh no. Oh my gosh, that's just terrible. Oh, well, I've got that to look forward to. Great.
It's more of knowing to be your own advocate and to know that once you are without a stomach, you'll forever be an odd duck as far as the medical field. It does not matter, if they have heard of CDH1. They don't have. Sorry, my dog's playing with their squeaker. They don't have it. I mean, they want to, and they're more than willing to learn. But I mean,
they don't know.
They do know. And I mean, I told my PCP, I finally had, Dr. Davis was like, Virginia, you've legit got to have a doctor's appointment where you tell your PCP all this is happening.
Yeah. Oh no. So yeah. I want to ask you about the revision surgery that you had. Was that the same amount of pain, or was it?
No, because she split it up the morphine.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah. That's when you figured out the dosage. Okay. Good. Yeah.
It was hands 180 degree difference. I mean, what it should be. There was a little bit of uncomfortableness, but nothing.
Good. Well, we are having some, really bad microphone breakup. Everyone who's watching right now, are you guys having that same issue with the volume cutting out? Can you just give us a thumbs up if it sounds good, or a thumbs down if it sounds bad? And so, since we're having these technical difficulties, you've given us so much, Virginia. Is there anything that you want to close out with, any words of wisdom or advice that you can give to us and everyone who's going to take that path?
Yeah, just to give yourself grace in the process, and that it's not, every person's different, and it's okay to have a crappy day, and what works one day may not work the next, or it may work the next. So just don't give up and just take your time. I think people want to go too fast in the recovery, and you really have to listen to your body and do what your body is telling you to do.
Right. I like that. Yep. And everyone's
Great
different.
advice. Yep. Everybody is different. That's right. You need to listen to your body.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
All
thank you so much,
Virginia.
You're so sweet and positive, and we really enjoyed that. So thank you so much.
Well, thank y'all so much.
Thank you for sticking in with us with this technical stuff. I don't know what we're going to do. We might just have to just throw this whole venue away.
The whole YouTube. Oh, we're going to keep the interview.
Good one.
All right.
Okay,
Bye,
bye.
Virginia. Thank you, everybody.